So, welcome back to the Women in Law mini series. So, today I am joined by the lovely Shreya Dutt. Thanks for joining us, Shreya.
Hi, Kalinda. Thank you so much for having me here.
No problem. So, Shreya is a litigation lawyer at Bartier Perry. So, I'm very keen to hear what your insights are today. So, thanks again for joining us, and we'll get stuck into it. So, first question for you, Shreya. What did initially spark your interest in the legal industry?
So I've always been interested to join the legal industry. I think I was in year 6 or 7 when I just knew, and initially I wanted to join the politics.
Oh,
So I was quite intrigued. But I think as I grew older, it's the social justice aspect. It's about fighting for what you feel is right,
yeah.
helping out people. And I always say that I think law is both a science and an art. You have a certain set of parameters and how you help out your client using those parameters. It's an art to sort of dissect those laws as well. So I find it something which is, like I said, it's a science and an art, and it's a beautiful amalgamation of that for me.
Yeah, that's a very, very intelligent answer. I like that one. And that's not something that I've heard before. So there you go. And I mean, it's quite interesting to hear all these different perspectives on what brought people in. So I really like that. Thanks for sharing. So my next question for you, Shreya, is how do you balance your work and personal life?
I think, to be very honest, I do understand that being a litigation lawyer, there are going to be occasions where my personal life and work life, there won't be that perfect balance there. But what I always like to do is try to find something that will help me switch off mentally.
Yeah.
I've tried yoga, I've tried Pilates, that didn't really work for me,
Oh.
but kickboxing did. It's
Oh,
just something that really helped me switch off mentally.
awesome.
And I think it's just the nature of work that I'll be lying if I can say that I've always been able to switch off.
Yeah.
But I think your family and your friends, they do understand what industry you are in. In litigation, you might be working over the weekends.
Yeah.
So I do try not to look at my emails or think about work.
Yeah.
But I'm at the same time, if I end up thinking about it, I don't feel bad. I just feel like I'm preparing myself for the week ahead. But to maintain that work-life balance, I do try and exercise a bit more on the weekdays, and I try to have interactions with people around me that are not related to law. It's slightly difficult when your sister is also a lawyer.
Yeah. Wow.
But
Wow.
I think it's people around you who have helped me really switch off and maintain that balance. Always taking me out, and I think I should thank them for it.
Oh, that's so nice. And you would have seen my chat with Coletta, and she very much said hobbies was her thing. And you're saying very similar. And exercise is big for me and big for you. So there you go. But yeah, surrounding yourself with people outside law, I like that. And I mean, it can be challenging when you say to someone, I am a lawyer, and they have that perception they've got no free time. But it's nice when they respect those boundaries and you can still be able to do things to shut off from work. That's quite good.
Yes, I think it is an ongoing struggle. But as you like, I had different mechanism when I was in my 20s, and now that I'm in my early 30s, I have a different set of rules about how to really switch off. So I think it's always a work in progress.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you always have to try things to know what works for you. Like you said, you've tried yoga and Pilates, and that wasn't the right one, but kickboxing was, and I love that. Maybe every lawyer should take that up to get that anger out when you're in litigation. But no, that's definitely a big lesson. I think that you do need to try different things to see what works for you. And sometimes you get stuck in a routine and don't realize that you're not switching off, but you do need to make sure that you have that balance. So that was really good. So the next question for you, Shreya, and we're doing really well here, thank you, is in the legal industry, do you think employers do enough to support women going through different stages of their life? So, for example, there are some global companies that have implemented menstrual leave. Do you think that here in Sydney we do enough?
I think we're definitely getting close to what other countries are doing and what's happening in Sydney. I have spoken to a lot of women, and again, women who are at different stages in their life. And from what I've heard from them and from my personal experience as well, I think approaching, especially male partners, it has become a lot easier.
Oh, that's good.
The feeling that, oh, can I say that to a male partner? It's not there anymore. People are very transparent. I know women who are looking at IVF, and it's not just a menstrual leave, but leave for going through that procedure.
Yeah.
In some countries, if you unfortunately go through a miscarriage, you're still entitled to some sort of leave. So I think there's still a lot to do. But the fact that you can have a discussion with your employer about this, and that taboo is not there, or you won't be singled out, that oh, she asked for that additional support,
Yeah.
that's not there anymore, which I think was there a few years ago, maybe a few decades ago. So we're certainly getting there, but I think there's a lot that needs to be done. And how I see is that we need more women in parliament as well.
Yes, very topical since we had the election on the weekend. Definitely.
Definitely. And we need someone who's more open to the idea that at the end of the day, women do might still have additional requirements compared to male employers in terms of those things. So I think we need more women in leadership, and that's the reason we always say that we need women in leadership, so that they can at least initiate that conversation or give it more momentum.
Definitely.
So I think we're getting there, but yeah, we definitely need to do a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, all the time when we're talking about gender inequalities, we always say, you know, we've come so far, but there is so much left to do, which we know that obviously you're working at a really good firm, and it's really good that you do feel like you're comfortable to approach the partners and ask them about certain things. But unfortunately, not everyone experiences that. And sometimes people still have that really bad disconnect, and they don't actually have that trust where they can go to male partners.
That's true.
So you're very lucky. But no, that's definitely something to think about. And I think that in terms of the different things offered by firms, you're exactly right. I'm seeing more and more offering extra leave for IVF. We were just talking about the extended parental leave policies, which are, you know, going very far beyond what's mandated, which is really nice to see. But of course, there's always room for improvement. So our next question is, what is the most memorable career advice you've received from another woman?
I think the most memorable career advice that I received actually came from a man. Sorry, that's different to your question.
Okay.
And I think that's a testament to the fact that there's so many male lawyers and employers who are encouraging women. And the advice that I received was to accept it. And when I say to accept it, is not to have thick skin or accept the fact that we will be treated differently. But the context in which the advice came was that I was facing difficulty really connecting with a client, and I felt that they were not taking my advice seriously because I'm a female lawyer.
Wow.
And I've always been fortunate to have partners whom I can approach and have a discussion with. So I approached my partner, told him that this is happening. How do I deal with this? And I'm very glad the way my firm approached the situation. It was very positive. But the advice that I received was that at the end of the day, this is the unfortunate reality that we do have people who have prejudices, and it's not just against women. It can be for immigrants or people of color or people of certain religion. There's just so much out there because of which you might feel that someone is not taking you seriously because of your personal characteristics. And the advice was to not affect me at the end of the day, because it does. I don't want to think that, oh, this happened to me because I am a woman. I have to accept the fact that there are still people out there who will treat you differently. And it's not my problem. It's not something I should lose sleep over.
Yes.
Because they have to evolve. They have to understand that that's not right behavior. And I've started doing that. I have been in those situations, but now I think I just, if I realize that someone is behaving differently with me because I'm a woman, I just let them. Because I might lose one client who's treating me like that, but I have 9 other clients who won't.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to look at the positive aspects of it, that this person is not doing the right thing, but there are others who are doing the right thing, and not there's no discrimination because I'm a woman. So that advice was that I have to accept at the end of the day that I'm a woman. I'm a woman of color, and I'm a migrant to this country. I will be treated differently, unfortunately, by certain people. the fact is that I have to keep working hard, and at the end of the day my hard work will speak for itself. And you never know, the same client might approach me again because they've heard good things.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and you never know, and I have been in situations where I've been approached by previous clients who have said, oh, you did good work on this and that matter, so can you help us again? And that's what I'm trying to focus on. I'm trying not to let some person's bad behavior affect me. I'm looking at the positive aspects. I'm looking at the fact that it was a male partner who gave me that advice.
That's really nice to hear.
It's lovely. I can't thank him enough. And the fact that my firm took steps to make sure that I did not face that behavior again from that client. And there was an open discussion about what can we do, what more can we do if one of our employees is facing a situation where the client is not respecting them. So I think I've been very fortunate. And again, like I said, it's a testament to the fact that there are people who are trying to encourage female lawyers and who are there to have a discussion with them at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. And again, that goes to your supportive working environment. You're very lucky you've had experiences like that, and not everybody in Australia has. So even as a migrant to the country, you are, you're getting quite a lot of benefit out of being in such a supportive role as well. And I think coming from when you first said, oh, my advice is from a male partner, I was thinking, that's not the question, but that really is such a testament to what can really happen. And I mean, I think that what you said is so true, and we're going to face discrimination either way, no matter what sort of diversity or diverse background you come from. But it's almost like you're proving them wrong. And my differences aren't a testament to my abilities. I'm still able to serve you just as well as any other partner, any other male partner, anything like that. So I think that's really, really good advice. I like that. So the next question is, if you could look back on your time as a law student, what advice would you give yourself?
I think if I could time travel and go back, I'll tell myself, Shreya, just relax.
Yeah.
Just relax. There's just so much pressure we put ourselves on ourselves that sometimes you forget that these are the years when you actually enjoy yourself as well. It's very important to do well in university, but at the same time you're learning other life skills. You're trying to understand your own personality, what you really want. So I think it's so competitive out there these days, and in that situation we forget that we have to enjoy as well. So if I could go back, I think I'll be less I'll tell myself, just relax. Everything works out at the end of the day. As long as you're working hard, you know what you want to do, and you stay true to that goal, success will come to you.
Definitely. Yeah.
And it's just, but at the end of the day, you have to remember that we work to enjoy our life, and life is more than work. So yeah, I should have
big time. And I think that it's actually funny you mentioned that, because I'm a law student myself as well. So my property law lecturer last week said exactly what you said. She said, just relax. These assessments are not determining the rest of your life, which is true. I mean, as much as it is really important to do really well in law school, it shouldn't be at the detriment of your mental health or your physical health. So I think that's very, very sound advice. And it's the only lecturer I've had that has said that. Everyone else always puts a lot of pressure on. And I think that's something that the universities probably need to work on, is not really instilling that almost fear in the undergrads or the people who are studying a law degree.
Yes, and I this is something that I always say, that law is designed, the way it's designed that even a common man can act for himself or herself in even litigation. It's not designed to be complex.
Exactly.
We study so much. We spend almost 5 years trying to master the craft. But if you speak to any of the judges, they'll tell you the same thing, that it takes years and years to get to that stage. And even then, there's just so much to learn. So you're just learning the basics. Just relax. Just enjoy the journey as well.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a law student, you have so much time to actually understand law, whereas when you're working, you've got real life deadlines
and processes to follow,
and things to do, so you
billables
as well. So you don't actually get that much time to enjoy law. It's at university level where I feel that you actually get to enjoy law. You actually get to study and get a feel for it.
Definitely.
And it's not complicated. Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
So don't forget to have fun.
Yeah.
It's the only time in your life where you're going to have 2 or 3 months off.
Yeah.
So enjoy that.
Well,
Yes.
that's exactly right. And I mean, I think that a lot of people do go into their law degree and go, oh, I'm only doing law because, you know, so and so told me I have to do law, but people don't actually enjoy it. And I think that is the difference, is when a lot of people ask me, oh, why do I study? I enjoy what I study. I really, really am passionate about it. And I think that's the difference in some law students who are sort of forced into the career versus others who really do find the time to do what they like to do. So the final question for you, Shreya, is what kind of changes would you like to see in the legal industry in the next 10 years?
I think to start with, we definitely need more female partners,
Yes.
or not just partners, women who are in that leadership role, or CFOs, or who are making management decisions at different law firms. I do see a lot of changes when I first started compared to the situation now. Like I said, I've been very fortunate to work with firms who've done a lot. Just to give you an example, one of the firms that I was working with, they consciously tried to brief more female partners, barristers. They tried to appreciate what female employees were doing, and the fact that they had to split their time between work and home. Just words of affirmation, and just
Yeah.
encouraging women generally. So
Mm.
I have seen that happening in the last few years a lot more.
Oh, great.
Compared to when I first started.
Yeah.
But I think in the next 10 years, like I said, we definitely need more women the workforce, so that they have a voice at the end of the day. If you just have 10 or 20% of your employees who are women, that voice might not be that strong.
Yes.
But so we need more women in those leadership roles and making decisions or having a voice. They're able to express their concerns.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many male employees just trying to contribute and help out their
female counterparts.
staff.
Yeah.
Yes. Just for example, Women in Insolvency in Victoria, that's a really good organization. They've got so many male members who are again supporting the organization. We have Lips in Sydney. Again, there are male lawyers as well who are encouraging these organizations. So a lot of activities happening on that front. There's a lot of momentum, and we need to just keep pushing.
Yeah.
And we, at the end of the day, need to be in a situation where it's not a special idea that women need to be supported. It should not be a
should
thing.
Be natural.
It should be natural. We shouldn't even have to make a conscious effort.
Exactly.
Because we don't have special clubs or special discussions about men, and that's the situation I want for women as well. But I think
we're just wanting an equal playing field.
It's just so normal. It sometimes surprises me that we are in a situation that this is even a dialogue.
Definitely.
But that's the unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
But I think it needs to come from a leadership point of view. It needs to come from the parliament as well, what they're doing to accommodate special needs that women may have. And it also needs to come from your own colleagues as well, to encourage your female friends in the office to do more. And I think, again, it like we said, it's a work in progress. There's a lot that has been done, and there's a lot that I'm hoping happens in the next 10 years.
Definitely.
And I think I would love to reflect back and see what all changes have happened.
Well, yeah, wouldn't it be interesting to just be a fly on the wall for 10 years previous in your current office and seeing what it's all like? I mean, I've always thought about that. But what you said is very, very true. And I think going back to the words of affirmation, it's such a small thing, but it makes such a big difference. And some people, I'm not going to obviously categorize that it's a certain gender, but some people do struggle to say, you know, good job or well done. And it's just little things like that really do make a difference. And I think, as you said, the legal industry has come so far. There's still so much more to go, which has obviously been a very big theme from everyone I've spoken to. And it's quite prominent, especially for myself, being you've come into our office today. You've seen how many women are in our office, where I think Sydney is 80% women and 20% men. So when you compare that to obviously what happens in a law firm, it's not even on the same scale, right? So being that it's not a female-dominated industry, of course, there's always going to be work to be done. But thank you very much for your time today, Shreya.
So
lovely to have you. Thank you.